Kilij-Arslan began to shadow the Crusader army. His scouts reported that they were heading toward the city of Dorilium. The Sultan knew this section of the road narrowed as it wove its way through a shallow valley. This was the perfect site for an ambush. The Muslims hid behind the hills, occupying the high ground with the sun behind them. They were ready to pounce on their prey. The sun had barely risen from behind the hills when the order to attack was given. But there was something different about this battle. The young Sultan watched anxiously from his observation post as he noted that the tried-and-true Turkish methods lacked their usual effectiveness. The knights stuck together, and on occasion, they would charge into the midst of the Muslims with terrific momentum, and when they charged, none could stand in their way. After several hours of battle, the Turkish archers had inflicted many casualties, especially among the foot soldiers, but the bulk of the Frankish army remained intact. Should they engage in hand-to-hand combat? Kilij-Arslan was unsure. That seemed risky. During the many skirmishes around the field of battle, the Turkish horsemen had difficulty holding their own against these virtual human fortresses. Should the phase of harassment be prolonged indefinitely? Now that the element of surprise had worn off, the initiative might shift to the other side. Some of the emirs were already counseling retreat when a cloud of dust appeared in the distance. A fresh Frankish army was approaching, as numerous as the first. The Turks had only been fighting the forward guard of a much larger army. Now the Sultan had no choice but to order a retreat. Before he could do so, a third Frankish army came into view behind the Turkish lines on a hill overlooking the tent of the general staff. Now Kilij-Arslan succumbed to fear. He leapt onto his charger and headed for the mountains at full gallop, even abandoning the rich treasure he had brought to pay his troops. Kilij-Arslan was both stunned and humiliated. He had underestimated the power of the Frankish knight, and even worse, the size of the enemy. It appeared as if Europe had emptied itself of all its fighters. But what was the purpose of this invasion? What was their ultimate destination?